This video is going to be about blue light phenomenon. And I'm going to be talking about four different, I call them experiences, two experiences that were my own experiences involving blue light, and then two that I wasn't personally involved in, but that it was spoken about, blue light experiences by other people. So I'm going to start out with my first experience of blue light, and it happened in Henderson, Nevada in the year 2000, the summer of 2000. And I saw a UFO actually in Henderson. I'm going to share my screen and show you a rendering of what I tried to get to look like what I witnessed while I was in Henderson, and I'll explain the situation. Okay, hopefully you can see this. It was, I had called it like a diamond-shaped, diamond-shaped UFO. I was actually sitting on the patio at a Starbucks, and that was in the evening. It was just starting to get dark, as you can see in this. And I was sitting with my business partner at that time. We're having a business meeting over coffee outside on the patio. And the patio was actually packed with people chatting away. And I was looking across the street because at this time, they were building out Henderson, and they had this construction where they put a little shopping center and they had a Starbucks there. And then across the street, there was nothing. It was just desert, just like this in this picture. So I was listening to him as I was looking across the street, and this was kind of cat a corner from where the Starbucks was. And my business partner saw that I was looking in that direction. So he turned and he's going, wow. And then all of a sudden, everybody on the patio, it just got dead silent. And everybody was looking at this. It was this shape, a octahedron, I guess is what it's called, shape. But it was actually emanating blue light. It was metal. It looked like it was metal, but it was emanating this blue light, which I couldn't reproduce here. Then it started to project this blue light here, like you could see coming down, projecting it onto the desert. Now, this thing was probably, I'm terrible with distances, so I'm saying 30 feet, maybe more, maybe 50 feet above the ground. And it stayed there for a while. And then a car pulled off the main road and was on a dirt road with its headlights on, heading right in that direction where this beam was coming down. I'm just like, and I'm just, under my breath, I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't drive into that beam. And then I can't even remember how long it lasted, that it was there. Then it just kind of faded away. It didn't shoot off, or it didn't make any sound. It didn't spin. It just hovered. And then it just the light kind of dimmed, and it dimmed out and went away. Now it may have dimmed out and then just hovered away somewhere, but you couldn't see it. And all of a sudden, everybody on the patio just started talking again, like nothing had happened. No one was saying, wow, did you see that? I mean, they were all just talking like nothing happened. It was the strangest thing to witness. But my business partner remembered, and he looks at me and he's like, we just saw a UFO. And I'm like, we sure did. Well, when we went back to his house after that, his wife had the television on with the news, and they were saying that they got some reports about a UFO in this area in Henderson, and they investigated it and were told that it was, guess what, a weather balloon. And my business partner looks at me and he goes, that was not a weather balloon. I'm like, no, it wasn't. And to the day that he finally passed, my business partner, he's like, we saw a UFO. And I'm like, yes, we did see a UFO. But the part of it, because I'd seen a UFO before when I was a kid, about 9 years old, but that one was like a saucer, and it was actually orange, orange shaped, silent like this one, made no noise, and just hovered over, was moving across over our neighborhood, and then went over the trees where we couldn't see it anymore. All the kids were out there playing, and the parents were out, but it got dead silent when that UFO went over. And then once it got out of, moved over the space where it was hidden by the trees as it moved on, everybody just started talking. The kids started playing again. And no one but me was like, wow. Nobody was, they just acted like nothing had happened. So just as I recall that, it just kind of blows my mind. But I saw this same phenomena happen in some research I was doing in my doctoral program about 3 years later, after this blue light UFO. So ever since that happened, I was like, that's so interesting, that blue light that was emanating from it. I've never seen anything like it. I've never heard any ufologists talk about it. And it's not that it didn't happen or have others have experienced blue light, but I just never heard about it. And I still haven't heard about it. And I'd love to. So if you have some knowledge, put it in the comments below. I would love that. So that was my experience with blue light and a UFO experience. Then after that came my work in my research when I got into my doctoral program. And that was experience that I experienced myself in the psychomantium chamber. I've written a book on the psychomantium. Hopefully it'll be out and available I'm hoping in 6 months. But at any rate, it just seems to take forever. But we built a copper wall in the psychomantium. I don't mention this anywhere in my book. I don't think so. But the copper wall was based on something that Ingo Swann had written. And that my professor actually knew Ingo Swann. Where I went to school was really cool because we had several big names in the parapsychology field. But we did this copper wall experiment because Ingo Swann said that this is the way Buddhist monks were trained. And in my experience in the copper wall, it also included blue light, but the idea of the copper wall was, or at least we thought, was to see the reflection of yourself in this copper wall with low light, and your face morphs. And what a lot of the other students concluded was that it's showing you past lives, what you looked like in past lives. Now, my experience was a little different. I did see the morphing faces. I did see that happen in my experience. But what I experienced was that because I stayed in there longer, maybe, or that I wanted, I was searching for more, I don't know. But a lace type of pattern went over my face that was in the copper wall. And then it started to almost like it's burning and burn out. And it made an opening where inside that opening was no longer my face. It was just open, this thing. And there was light coming out that was golden. And it was like I was looking through a window into another place. And it was a scene where there was a tree, there was tall grass, almost looked like wheat, but I don't know that it wasn't really like a wheat field, but it had tall grass and it looked like, wheat on the ends of wheat stalks. And the wind was blowing, or breeze, I guess, and it was swaying in the wind. The only thing about this was that everything was gold. Everything was gold. It had this gold tone to it, and not like, when the sun's rising and you'll get a kind of a golden hue over the landscape. This was like golden, like gold, like the metal gold, and it looked like that. And I wanted very much, in an altered state, I wanted very much to go in there. But the person who was my timer, who keeps the time, came in and he goes, "Do you need more time?" When he spoke to me, it pulled me out of the trance. And I, it was just like, I'm like, more time. But it was too late. And all of a sudden, out of that window, if you will, came this blue light. And the opening was closing down, but the entire psychomantium chamber, which is like a tent, filled with this blue light. I had no idea what that blue light meant. There was no particular sensation with that blue light. It was just phenomenal, and it was beautiful. And actually, blue light was very much like the blue in this picture. And it kind of blows my mind. So I don't know what is the meaning of the blue light. And so that's why I'm doing this video, because that just, my first experience with the UFO, then my experience with the blue light coming out in that copper wall experiment in the psychomantium while I was at school. And I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen. And then I had another experience that I didn't experience it, but I found it fascinating because my doctoral research, which I've mentioned in other videos, Miracles Kept Secret, two of my participants who experienced religious apparitions as children, two of them described blue light. One said that she saw blue and purple light. The other said she saw like a multitude of colors, which included blue. And when I wrote a chapter for a book called Fatima Revisited, it was the third book in a trilogy of books about the apparition experiences in Fatima, and they're comparing them to or looking at the potential of alien encounters. And so I had to also, to write this chapter for this book, I had to also research alien encounters. And I got totally hung up in that because it was like, oh my God, went down the rabbit hole on that one. Fascinating, and how they do resemble religious apparitions, at least how the experiencers described their experience. And one of the participants that wasn't a participant, it was just one of John Mack's clients, described how his room filled with blue light when the alien was coming in to his room, and the room filled with blue light. That was fascinating. So the other experience of blue light, now I didn't have the experience, and this would take forever to talk about, but there's a man named Ralph Ring, and he worked with another man called Otis T. Carr. And Otis T. Carr actually was a friend. He was a young man working in the hotel where Nikola Tesla was when he was in his later years, getting close to the time that he died. And he befriended Nikola Tesla, this man, Otis T. Carr, and he shared his love for science. And so he got these plans, I guess, from Tesla. And evidently he got these plans. So when all of Tesla's stuff was confiscated, he was able to keep these because no one knew he had them, evidently. So anyway, so he hired some engineers to help him create this. It's like even more than a hovercraft. It was, Ralph Ring talks about like 0-point energy, fascinating stuff. And I'm going to share my screen with you about and show the cover of two videos, one from Rumble and one from YouTube, one that will show the prototypes that they created, and another is just Ralph Ring with kind of a model later on in life, a model of what they created. So hang in there and I'll be right back. Okay, hopefully you could see this. And I'll give you the link to this Rumble video, and I'm going to be sharing my screen again, showing the YouTube video. These are actually two of the prototypes that Otis T. Carr, Ralph Ring, and a couple of more engineers that they created. And they tested these things, and they were doing different experiments with them to get them to move, basically, and to hover, to do different, to do the things that they wanted them to do. And I'm going to share my screen again with the YouTube video, and it's a picture showing Ralph Ring talking to two interviewers. But it also, in that picture, it shows kind of a model, I guess, that he has of the to kind of depict the one of the prototypes that they created. Okay, here we are again, and this is the cover basically of the YouTube video, and this is Ralph Ring, and this is like, it looks like it's a plastic model, and I highly recommend, if you have the time, if you're interested, of course, to watch this video. It's less than 15 minutes, it's 14 and a half minutes, and he discusses this, he discusses the prototypes they created when working with Otis T. Carr. Now, what he described and where the blue light comes in is that when they had a full size made, which was 45 feet in diameter, they actually went into it. There was like a crystal sphere in it that lasers went through. And the idea was to, I guess, function it, to have it function where it didn't use any energy. So the three engineers, they're going in to test it. So they sat down, and Otis Carr said to have in their mind aquamarine blue color. And so that's what they did. And so he said that they just focused on in their minds this aquamarine blue color, and that's what they focused on, and that color was started to fill the space inside of this. It was like a saucer shaped, almost like a, you know, flying saucer, and that blue light filled the space, and that it lasted just like, I don't know, a minute, few seconds, whatever. And then Otis Carr told them, okay, we're done. And so they got out, and they're like, well, I guess the experiment failed. And so and if you watch the video, he explains what happened, and it's fascinating. I don't want to spoil it for those who want to watch it, and for those who don't, I guess you'll miss out. But I would recommend watching this video, and the link will be included in the description below my video here. So that was my experience with blue light, and also experiences that I heard about with blue light. Now, I would love it if anybody who watches this, if you have had an experience with blue light in any way, shape, or form, I would love to hear about it. And if you want to put it in the comments, I would love that. Or tell me that you have and you would like to contact me. Let me, put it in the comments, and I'll work a way to have you be able to contact me personally without sharing it, if you don't want to share it in the comment section. But I would love that. So anyway, that is this video about blue light phenomena. I still don't understand it. I would love to know more about it. I'd love to have, all of the understanding of the frequency, the meaning of the frequency, the harmonics that come with it, or whatever it might be. I'm fascinated by this, and it's still a mystery to me. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's made you ask some questions. And I hope that if for some of you who have answers or who have had an experience, will share it with me. All right, everyone. Thank you.